Dos, tres. Hi, Jacobo. How are you? Long time
Hi,
no see.
Juan Manuel. No, we saw yesterday. You,
Okay.
you ridiculous idiot.
Sorry, my memory is not too good. So, Jacobo, I
Yes, I
wanted to
can
ask you
tell.
something. When was the last time you traveled?
The last time I traveled, it was at late November, I think, like November 30,
And where
something
did you
like that.
go?
I no, in fact, I was coming back from a trip to Miami. So I was
How
there
was
with
it?
my aunt and uncle, and it was great because I didn't see you in a month.
Okay, that was great for me too. I also wanted to ask you, what's your favorite way of traveling? Which way do you prefer?
Okay, I that's a really complicated question because I don't travel a lot, really, but especially past year I traveled a lot by plane, and I think it's the most comfortable way of traveling. In fact, is better if it is a long distance travel, but I've always appreciated, especially like car trips and road trips. I can tell it's a great experience to make a road trip. If you are with your friends or your family, it's being in the car for like hours. It often ends up in a special way of sharing. So I think it's great.
Yeah, I get it. I completely get it. For example, last time I was in Bogota and I went on a road trip with my family to Villa de Leyva. And I really remember it and I get to really appreciate it because I was driving. So when you're driving, you get to choose the music and you get to talk with everyone, but also you know that you have to be very focused on the way you're going because basically you have everyone's life on your hands.
I don't know how that dictatorial way of choosing who choose the music is something really like
I don't
oppressive,
know.
but
I think it's something great because, for example, because in that time I was with my family. But for example, if you go with your friends, for example, if I went with my friends, not with you because you are not my friend, I would be with my friends to choose music, and I think it would be great because we could be playing different games, we would be sharing many things, and that it would be a nice experience to share a same space for many time.
yes, it is. But I think maybe you can go on a road trip to Miami from Egypt. So and that's another funny story I gotta tell because traveling by plane may be very comfortable and very safe, but it is very scary, except especially if you don't travel by plane a lot, by plane a lot. In January, I went to Cartagena by plane, and I had a really disgusting experience when we arrived with the plane, and it was almost big tragedy, but nothing happened.
Okay, that's terrible to hear. I mean, it's very normal travel in the same country because it's pretty short, but I get it. I also got on a story. For example, when I was going to Orlando about 2 years ago, I was on an airplane and someone had a panic attack because there was some turbulence. So the plane started to move very aggressively, and someone actually had a seizure in the plane. So it was pretty traumatizing. But I also think that it was like a weird
Are you sure it
experience that
wasn't
it
you?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't me. It was a lady, and they had to
You're also a
call
lady.
they had to call a medic inside the plane. It was pretty crazy story. I also wanted to say that I think that another very great way to travel is by food. Actually, it's only inside the city, obviously, because you can go to a city from another on foot, or it would take you basically days. But going by food is actually something pretty fun because you can go with listening to your own music, or if you go with someone, you can go talking. And at the same way, you got to exercise yourself, breathe some pure air, and things like that. That's actually
Maybe
something
I
pretty.
think it would be great. Maybe a competition though, because maybe we could try like you go by foot and I go by car, and then we make like competition who arrives first from here to Bogota, and I don't know, maybe in the middle of the night. Awesome.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty funny, but I really think you would probably won. Also, I wanted to mention a story that happened to me while I was traveling by road that I think that it was pretty funny. That it was that I found someone who was my friend on the road and that we started making some sort of race. And it was a really nice experience because we had different cars
Irresponsible.
and no, I mean we weren't going very fast, but we were trying like to overpass the other one and we were playing music very loud so we can listen to each other. It was pretty funny. I wanted to ask you something. Have you ever traveled by in a van or in a bus, like in the same country or one
Yes,
country
I
to
have.
another one?
I came from Venezuela years ago. I had that was a long trip because I had to have a part of the trip by car. Then I had to take a bus, and then I had to take a plane. And when we arrived here, it was another road trip from the place we arrived to or to Medellin. And but also I used to travel a lot by bus. In fact, me alone um, with or maybe with my sister sometimes when I was living in Bogota, and for holidays we came by bus only we two to spend some time with my family.
Yeah, I get it. For example, when I was little, I usually did the same thing because I also lived in Bogota. So when I wanted to pass some time with my dad that used to live here in Medellin, I came by bus, sometimes alone, but usually with my mother. And we had so many Christmas here, or sometimes we would go. Like for example, he was here in Medellin, and I was in Bogota, and he used to travel by plane, for example, to see me there. So I think it was pretty funny sometimes. Traveling is a nice way to know each other and to have funny experiences.
Yes, it's great.
Yeah,
Except when you are in the middle chair in a tourist class airplane and you have two Karens beside you.
yeah. That also remembers me. That also remembers me that I was once in a plane and I had a bad breakfast. I have a rotten egg and I got really sick on an airplane. And when I arrived to my destiny, they have to tell me to the hospital, and it was a pretty bad vacation. I didn't actually had a great time because I was really going through a rough time being sick. It was pretty disgusting. The situation was actually
Yes, I can
horrible.
tell.
And in that kind of way, I think I prefer going by car because I think that it's like a slower way and that you can stop in different places, you can know different places, and you can, I don't know, just chill on the road and watching the sunset, things like that. I think that they make the road trip one of the best ways of travel.
Yes, I know, and in fact it is. But I, I can tell from my experience in my travel to Cartagena that excuse me, did it?
Ah, don't worry, keep going.
Okay. Um, and it was very terrifying because we were attempting to land, and we were trying to land, and we had to make our way through some turbulence. And then when we were again trying to land, we couldn't, and we had to go on a like making big circles over the airport, and we were like 40 minutes past the time we had to land, and the crowd started going from back to forward, and they were pretty scary. They showed us the crash positions we had to take in the scenario of an accident, and it was pretty terrifying. And when we finally landed, we were all shaking. I could see everybody shaking and very worried, and many people were angry and upset about it, and they tried to talk to the pilot, and it was some crazy stuff in that they were. crazy day.
Yeah, I mean, traveling by plane may be the safest way to travel, but it's also the most dangerous way because the accidents in plane can be the most lethal ones. And talking about
Yes,
that, I am actually late to catch my plane, so I'll catch up on you later, Jacobo. Thank you for talking with me.
maybe not. Thank
Okay, goodbye,
you.
Jacobo. Have a nice week.
Bye.